John, I'm going to request your permission real quick, and you can feel free to say no, and I'll take it out in post. But I saved the voice memo that you sent to me and Katie, and I really want to play it on the show.
There's some curse words in there, so it's not safe for work, but sure, go ahead.
Wait,
All right, here we go.
I forgot that I was working, and I actually forgot to go back and listen to that because I couldn't listen to it at work. So I'm listening to this for the first time. I forgot this was sent.
Enjoy.
I just left the Bucks game, and I was talking to one of their beat reporters who is also an F1 fan. He's a Williams fan. And he kind of looks at me as I'm walking out the tunnel. He goes, "Did you watch the race this morning?" Let me tell you about the f***ing race this morning. F***ing river. Okay, carry on.
Speaking of getting the party started. For the victory lap, though. They ain't never seen nothing like this before. Lit the room when I came through the front door. Ask me if I stress overcome, what for? Train in the trees, please pardon my sycamore. Touch burning sands, cross lands, and stormy shore seasons in the year, yeah. Switch gears, we keeping haters in the rear. At the blood, sweat, and tears, and my goal so near. I see my victory so clear. I see my victory so clear. And today, we break through. 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 And today, we break through.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 89 of the Gridiron Podcast. It's the only podcast in the world that combines all the grid of Formula One and all the iron of American football. I'm Sean Barie. Joining me as always is our bald behemoth holding down the fort in the land. It's Nick Shook and our Canadian queen, Katie Caldwell. This is episode 89. We're going to call this the Mike Dick episode. How you doing, guys?
Are you good, Sean? Did something happen?
I don't want to talk about it.
I do.
I don't want to talk about it, okay? Like, I have been loathing the thought of opening that email from Nick Shook to invite us into this recording.
Why, Sean?
For days now. For days. Like, ever since the end of that Qatar Grand Prix, I have been loathing this. We talk about Formula One, and we talk about football on the Gridiron Podcast. 88 episodes in, and I've been alright. I'm cool with it. Whatever. I roll with the punches. It's been mostly chalk since then, right? Like, Red Bull dominates year in and year out. McLaren actually have a shot to win the title this year. They should win the title this year. And now somehow we are going into the final race of the season with, which this is insanely exciting if you're new to F1 or a longtime fan, with 3 drivers still eligible for the Drivers' Championship. 3. Hasn't happened in 15 years. This is once in a kind of generation type of race. And yet somehow I am just dreading waking up at frickin' 8 a.m. on a Sunday morning because I know at the end of the day, you know what? We'll get into it. We'll get into it, guys.
This
We'll
is
get into
my
it.
favorite
Sean?
podcast we've ever done.
Why, Sean? Why are you dreading
this?
Yeah. Why are you dreading waking up?
89.
Hey, let's change this, by the way.
Podcast.
Instead of the Mike Ditka episode, let's make this the Steve Smith Sr. episode. Okay? Thanks.
I'm down with that. I'm
Okay.
cool with that. You don't want,
why-
you're not down with Aliquippa native Mike Ditka?
No.
Hall of Fame tight end coach?
He's kind of gone off the deep end in recent years, and I would prefer to not be associated with that. Sean,
Really?
why you dreading? Why are you dreading Sunday at 8 a.m. Eastern?
Because I'm actually quite looking forward to 8 a.m.
Same.
Eastern on
First,
Sunday.
Let's get the formalities out of the way. You can find us on social media. We got an Instagram, on IG at Gridiron Pod, and then we have a TikTok now. Hold on, Katie wrote it down finally because we kept forgetting what it was. On TikTok, we're at the.gridiron.podcast. So on
Katie wrote it
Instagram
down
at
finally.
Gridiron Pod, TikTok at the.gridiron.podcast, and then you can also email us at the Gridiron Podcast 3. That's the Gridiron Podcast number 3. Damn
those
those other two.
at gmail.com. Where can you find us on YouTube, Nick?
YouTube.com/@gridironpod. Sean,
All right.
why are you dreading Monday or Sunday?
Because we're having a great time, Sean.
Yeah.
You're a Ferrari fan, Katie. You know what? I'm sick of this. You're bandwagon Red Bull fan. You've been a Ferrari fan all year. You guys aren't doing crap. So you're like, I'm going to root for Max Verstappen now. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I think it's finally time we call you out on that.
I love that this is your reaction from that. Totally reasonable. And anyone that knows, I'm a Lewis fan. I will follow Lewis wherever he goes. And sure, I'm a Ferrari fan. Am I also a fan of chaos, first and foremost, above anything else? Yes. Am I a fan of McLaren losing to themselves on the biggest stage? Yes. That is what I'm a fan of. Number one, above anyone else, above any other team, and this proves why. And I love that you're bringing this attitude today. This is my favorite Sean Barie episode. Give me all the shots. I could take it.
Thank you.
I love it.
And if honestly, if McLaren wasn't fumbling worse than the 28-3 in Super Bowl, whatever that was with the Falcons, the biggest storyline would be all of the tea that's happening at Maranello. With Lewis Hamilton literally calling out Ferrari. Like, you can't call out Ferrari. It's like that scene from Rush. It's a shitbox. You can't say that. It's a Ferrari. It's a shitbox. Like, Lewis is doing all this. Meanwhile, everyone's like, yeah, we really don't care because McLaren is about to fumble a 102-point lead in the Drivers' Championship.
Yeah, just to clarify, Sean, that isn't the talking point this week. Why? What is more important than that?
Because McLaren is fumbling the World Drivers' Championship worse than the Atlanta Falcons fumbled that Super Bowl against the Patriots. This is worse than the 28-3 Super Bowl.
Sure is.
You like that connection?
That was Super Bowl 51.
51, thank you. You like that connection, by the way? I'm tying together the two parts of this podcast.
Yes, football and Formula One. We get that. Uh-huh.
So for those that don't know what happened, okay?
What are you
coming out
down,
of
Sean?
the summer break,
Don't leave any
Oscar
detail.
Piastri was leading the World Drivers' Championship by 102 points over Max Verstappen, who was in third place. Max Verstappen is now in second place and only 12 points behind Lando Norris, as Oscar Piastri has fallen back to third place now. Now, headed into the final three races of the year, was Max making it interesting? Yes. But mathematically, it was more likely than not that maybe McLaren would have two drivers still eligible for the championship headed into Abu Dhabi. Max would likely be eliminated either in Las Vegas or Qatar. But that did not happen because not only did Max Verstappen win the Las Vegas Grand Prix, McLaren double DQ'd, which we covered on episode 88 of the Gridiron Podcast. Now on episode 89, we're talking about not one, not two, and not three, or actually, yes, three drivers being eligible for the World Drivers' Championship headed into the final race of the season. Because, why, guys? Why are we talking about this year? Why does Lando Norris only have a 12 freaking point lead headed into Abu Dhabi? Tell me why.
Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen. Well, I mean, that's one part of it. Max Verstappen wins the Grand Prix in Qatar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he won the Grand Prix in Qatar. Why did he win the Grand Prix in Qatar?
Oh, why don't we turn to the resident
from pole?
Why don't we turn to the resident McLaren fan to really break it down for all of us, including Lando Norris's failure in the first turn? What a shocker!
Let me be clear, okay? I'm not wearing papaya today. I'm in my emo era. We're recording on December 2nd, right? So all my elder emos out there, go ahead and play December Again by Neck Deep all month long.
Cheers.
And it's going to be a long, lonely December if McLaren don't bring this title home on Sunday. I just want you to look at my shirt, okay? It's an MCR shirt. Broken, beaten, damned. Lyrics from the Black Parade. That's how I feel, and I feel like that's how the McLaren drivers feel at this current moment. Because not only, this is not, and yes, Nick, you can say that Lando messed up on lap one again. At the end of the day, it really wouldn't matter. He's still, yes, Max would still be eligible in the Drivers' Championship, but the gap would still be a little too much to overcome. Like, he would have to win, and McLaren would have to double DNF again for Max to win the title headed into Abu Dhabi. So Lando getting passed by Max on turn one.
I wasn't blaming it on that.
Yeah,
I just wanted to point it out because it's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing that happened, but honestly, I feel like McLaren said, Lando, play the safe game here on out. You don't need to win all these races. You just need to bring it home, and you're going to be world champion. So I really don't care about the lap one pass. What I do care about is McLaren absolutely screwing over their drivers 2 weeks in a row now. Car was too low to the floor in Vegas, double DNF. Whoops-a-daisies. And then they can't apparently do simple math in Qatar when every other team can. Headed into this race, Pirelli and the FIA noted that, or mandated, that this was a 2-stop mandatory race because the tires, for safety issues, couldn't last longer than 25 laps. So, you had to bring that car in.
They told all the teams but McLaren.
Right. It seems like that's exactly what happened. So this is a 57-lap race, right? So you got to bring the car in twice. Okay? And you can't last longer than 25 laps on any tire. So on lap 7, Nico Hülkenberg, and was it Pierre Gasly? Yeah, Nico Hülkenberg and Pierre Gasly get into a bit of a tiff, brings out a safety car as Nico Hülkenberg's car is on track. A warranted safety car on lap 7. Of a 57-lap race. Let's do some quick math, guys. How many laps are left in the race if you're on lap 7?
57 minus 50
is?
actually it's 50.
Okay, it's 50. 50 divided by 2
this is tough. 25.
Which means that if cars brought in to change their tires, teams brought in their cars to change on lap 7, which is a faster pit stop than under normal conditions, okay? It's only 12 seconds under a safety car versus about 24, 25 seconds.
And to explain why.
Because cars are going slower on track, they're backed up behind the safety car, so you don't lose nearly as much time when you pit under safety car conditions. It's well known. This isn't new science. This isn't some newfangled,
It's essentially
strategy.
what they call a free pit stop.
It's a free pit stop. And because this is a 2-stop race, you bring your car in on lap 7, it's only a 12-second pit stop versus a 25-second pit stop. And then you bring it in on lap 32 when there's only 25 frickin' laps left in the race, and you bring your car home. It's that frickin' simple. I'm sitting here in Buccaneers game day traffic, Sunday, in Tampa, okay, at a red light, watching all these Bucs fans and watching these Cardinals fans walking to Raymond James Stadium. I'm at a red light, and I hear what's happening, and I'm like, great, free pit stop. Right? Right?
Right?
It would appear that
for
McLaren
everybody.
did not think that this was a good enough opportunity for a free pit stop when every other team did. So what goes on to happen is McLaren allows their 2 drivers to continue on down the road when every other team, except for Esteban Ocon at Haas, brings their cars in. And essentially what happens is Lando calls out the pit wall on it immediately. He said, shouldn't we have just followed Max in? The response was, well, now they lose all their flexibility for the rest of the race. And you lose any chance to win the frickin' race. There's the trade-off, McLaren.
There is no race on the calendar that offers a more direct approach than this one. Because there is a 25-lap max, according to the manufacturer of the tire. It's laid out for you. You couldn't have planned a safety car at a better time to make this all make sense.
And yet
they seem to be the ones who didn't study for the test.
Yeah, show me you didn't study for the test. Show me you didn't even look. It was an open book test. It was open notes.
God.
You were allowed to use the book. You were allowed to use your notes. And McLaren still failed. So what ends up happening is McLaren then realizes, whoopsie-daisies, that was a mistake. Hey, you guys need to gain, checks notes, 25 seconds on that Red Bull of Max Verstappen to have any hope of winning this race. 25 seconds. Coming out of the safety car, Max was in 3rd place right behind him. In what world were they going to gain 25 seconds?
Never. All they could ask for was him to blow a tire, which he wasn't going to do.
Oh my God, the stupidity. Oh my God, all those times that we made fun of Ferrari for being the clowns of F1, when all along it was McLaren. Hold on, actually I do want to investigate this. Is that pit wall, is that McLaren pit wall, is that secretly like Ferrari? Like if we do like a Scooby-Doo mask reveal, is it actually Ferrari calling the shots at McLaren?
I think so. John, I'm going to request your permission real quick, and you can feel free to say no, and I'll take it out in post. But I saved the voice memo that you sent to me and Katie, and I really want to play it on the show.
There's some curse words in there, so it's not safe for work, but sure, go ahead.
Wait,
All right,
I
here we
forgot
go.
that I was working, and I actually forgot to go back and listen to that because I couldn't listen to it at
enjoy.
work. So I'm listening to this for the first time. I forgot this was sent.
Enjoy.
I just left the Bucks game, and I was talking to one of their beat reporters, who is also an F1 fan. He's a Williams fan. And he kind of looks at me as I'm walking out the tunnel. He goes, "Did you watch the race this morning?" Let me tell you about the f***ing race this morning. F***ing River. Okay, carry on.
I am so glad I was unable to listen to that at the time, and I get to listen to it with the two of you. Oh my, I love this Sean Crash Out episode. This is getting better and better and better. I don't even want to say a word.
Shout out Buccaneers beat reporter River Wells. We talk F1 all the time when we're just standing around the locker room and at the training facility. By the way, I wasn't being mean to River. I was just like my internal monologue when we were talking about the race. Good for River, Williams fan. Got to see Carlos Sainz up there. I feel like that's what we should be talking about, but no, once again, we are talking about McLaren fumbling away the chance to win a World Drivers' Championship. So, again, it's just... And afterwards, everybody is rightfully so applauding Alexis Schiltz. Is that her name? The chief strategy officer from Rebel?
Schlitzbeer? I don't know.
I think it's
Isn't it Hannah?
Schiltz.
It's Hannah.
Hannah?
First off. Yes. It's Schmitz. Hannah Schmitz. Wow, you really botched that one.
Well, you guys didn't know that. You didn't know her name right away either.
Yeah, because it didn't ring a bell because it wasn't really that close.
So
Nick, he's in a moment of weakness. Let him
Yes, he is. He's having a tough time.
And so she got to go up on the podium, receive, the constructor's trophy. Rightfully so. She made the right call, and she made McLaren look like, I can't say the word because I've already cursed too many times in this podcast. Sure, that's the polite way. Novices.
Yeah.
She's McLaren's daddy. And it was so funny because she was asked about the decision to bring Max in afterwards, and she was explaining it like it was kind of simple. Like, our pit window opens up on lap 7, knowing it's a 57-lap race, and we have to change tires and bring them in every 25 laps. Like, yeah, we knew that, like, our safety car pit window opens up on lap 7. Like, she was explaining, like, it's kind of a no-brainer. Apparently it's not. At least to one frickin' team. So afterwards, Oscar Piastri comes home P2. Lando Norris picks up, actually, some valuable points there at the end, because he was running P5 until he got... lucky. Got Kimi Antonelli. What was it on, with, like, 3 laps to go?
No, I thought it was, like, second or last lap.
It was late in the race.
It was, I think, the second to last or last lap because Kimi went wide.
Yeah. So, by the way, if you are if you're sending death threats to Kimi Antonelli because you think he let Lando pass him in this race,
deplorable.
Kindly F off and don't
I
watch us or listen to us.
Yes, I agree. You can go crawl into a hole and never see the society again for the way that you act.
Don't
but I will say,
or listen.
I also blame GP for his characterization of that, which was he got on Max's radio and was like, apparently Kimi Antonelli just moved over and let Lando through. I don't know what happened there. He didn't see that he went off track.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, shouldn't be coming online with that kind of energy, but I digest.
I digest.
But
I'm looking for the quote. The quote that Hannah summarized it with, I thought was just perfect. She said something along the lines of like, these McLaren has to balance fairness between these two drivers in this championship fight, and we're in a position to take advantage of that. And I think she's right, but I don't really know if that necessarily fully applied in this situation, unless they decided to pit neither driver because they didn't want to give one an advantage, and then repeat what happened at Monza, in which they had Lando and Oscar invert positions because they felt like Lando's slower pit stop gave him Oscar an unfair advantage when they were trying to play fairness back then. Look, this is a total team failure. If anything, yes, they're backed up and it's really hard to double stack in that situation, but bring them in anyway.
Yep.
Because the result, the adverse risks that you associate with not pitting there is way bigger than any sort of advantage gain for one driver or another. Because are you committed to winning a title, or are you committed to just being like, oh, let's just play nice?
Yeah.
I'm Zach Brown, let's play nice.
Are you committed to winning a championship, or are you committed to papaya rules? You have to now pick one or the other.
Oh God!
Okay,
Wow,
this
haven't
is
we
fate.
talked about this for 6 months?
This is
Longer
fate
than that.
saying time to choose. Okay, you have two different right race engineers. You have two different teams. You have Lando and you have Oscar. They've already said they're free to race in Abu Dhabi. Shocker. Okay, they were always going to say that. Those two teams now need to operate separately. There cannot be papaya rules. They need to operate separately as separate teams right now.
What did
There
I
is
say?
Team Oscar, Team Lando, and Team Max. 3 separate teams.
There's
Nick
one
and I have been
perfect
saying
way
that
to
going
fix
into
this.
the season.
Yes, and the most nefarious way to fix this possible is to order a whole batch of OP81 burgers and send them to Lando Norris' side. Create some internal conflict. Create a controversy. Give some sort of advantage to one of your drivers, even if it means giving everybody else a bad burger that might upset their stomach.
I will say, with Oscar 14 points behind Lando, it is more likely that I will not have to cook and eat an OP81 burger. Thankfully, I will not have to eat a charcoal-charged bun, whatever it was.
You know what's crazy? I think we talked about this in that show. They're pretty easy to acquire.
I know, yeah.
Charcoal
that was the thing,
buns.
but I really don't want to eat a charcoal bun and shredded carrot on a burger.
No. And you know what McLaren doesn't want to eat this weekend? At where, Katie?
Yes, Marina.
A nothing burger, as in they lose the title to Max Verstappen outright. Yes. Snaps, yes,
Yes.
So, mathematically, as we go into Abu Dhabi, if Lando wins, he's world champion. Comes in second, he's world champion. Comes in third and Max Verstappen wins, he's world champion. There's a lot, obviously Lando will be the favorite to be the champion because this is such a straightforward circuit. It's even worse than Qatar, which that track sucks. I'm sorry, it does.
Oh, it's awful. Worse on the calendar.
It's like a bad Bahrain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bahrain actually, that's a fun track.
Bahrain
I
rips,
enjoy,
dude.
Yeah, Bahrain's awesome. Okay, I think we can agree that.
Rips.
Bahrain.
You know what really rips once you're in your 30s, dude, is like
Some Bahrain racing, man.
Preseason testing, bro.
Like, you
Remember
you
that
kick
one
off
time?
the season, like little scoot in the sandiness, like.
Remember that one time where they did counterclockwise and they just raced the outer track, bro? Oh, man, it was so cool.
Ripped.
So anyway, heading into
I'm
where,
glad we're all
Katie?
plugged into the internet, by the way.
Yeah. One more time, Katie, where are we going?
Yes, Marina.
You got Lando Norris ahead of Max Verstappen by 12 points and ahead of Oscar Piastri by 14. This is going to be one of the most exciting and nerve-wracking races I think we'll ever watch, honestly.
This takes me back to, you know what? It's almost as if I prepared for this. This takes me back to a moment roughly 4 years ago in which Max Verstappen won his first world title.
Allegedly.
Yes, I have 2 Red Bull hats here. Yes, this is the 2021 Max Verstappen championship hat. Yes, it's sweaty because I've worn it a lot and it needs wash. But as you can see there, 2021 world champion Max Verstappen.
Where's
This
the
just takes
asterisk
me-
on it? I don't see the asterisk.
somewhere in the flowers, that represent
okay.
that he won the title, and the trophy that sits in his trophy case and stands in the record books as a valid championship. This takes me back to that, and I think it's perhaps even more intriguing because all 3 drivers have a chance. Chaos could ensue. Somebody could blow a tire. Somebody could hit somebody else and wreck the entire race, in which Michael Massey, even though he's no longer working for the FIA, doesn't have to get involved in the final lap. And at that point, all bets are off. Anything could happen. But we all know what we're pulling for. We all know what me and Katie are pulling for. And this is no disrespect to you, Sean. I don't want to see you sad.
I feel like you kind of do.
Sometimes with sports I do. In this instance, I don't. I personally would love to watch Max Verstappen pull off the greatest comeback ever. Not just because McLaren is involved. If it was Mercedes, I would love it. If it was, sorry, Katie, Ferrari, I would love it.
Oh, no, same. Same. It's...
But something about this and all the things that they've had to overcome as a team this year, I think would just make for a great story. Now, as a team, moving on from Christian Horner, all the stuff that they dealt with him going back to the beginning of last year, the fact that the car wasn't good, they lose Adrian Newey, they figure out the car in the second half of the season. It still takes a great driver like Max Verstappen. No victory would cement his legacy as a great driver more than winning this championship and the entertainment, like the potential for entertainment going into this final. Appointment viewing. Clear your schedules. There's no international NFL game that time. Get up anyway.
Yep.
It's worth
Wake
watching.
up, watch this race. I actually texted our good buddy Chris Redfern, Nick, because we went to the Miami Grand Prix with. The year before, we woke up at like 7:30 and walked over to the clubhouse at the apartment complex we were living in. And we had like coffee ready to go. We had mimosas. There was like an 80-inch TV, and we watched the 21 Abu Dhabi race. And we're both in shock as we watched the FIA manufacture Max's first championship. But I was like, man, got to come back to Florida, dude. Got to see this. He's like, honestly, at this point, yeah.
Wait, where is he now?
I think he's up in Boston.
Oh, good for him.
I think, yeah. Can't be
Shout out
exactly
Chris.
sure. Shout out, Chris. All right, with that, let us get to our Abu Dhabi 25.
I haven't said one word about this race. Can I?
Yes.
Please.
Do you have vibe notes too?
Yeah.
What's that?
Do you have any
I
vibe notes?
I said to you before, I'm like, let me go last because I feel like once I stop,
Katie.
once I start, I won't be able to stop. Yeah,
The
I haven't said
floor
one word about any of this. I've just been sitting
Is
laughing.
yours. Yes, take it, please.
Okay, I will try not to turn this into a 20-minute monologue because this is the kind of stuff that I've been waiting for and preparing for the entire season, and Nick and I have been talking about it. And I don't want to say in a moment of weakness because I did mean it at the time, but when friend of the show Logan in the chat was like, oh, Nick and Katie, I'm excited to hear what you're going to say about Lando now. And I said, I'm someone that as more information is presented to me, I will change my mind. What is going on with Lando? It blows my mind how any of this is happening, and the way that he has dealt with this is so frustrating.
Why is this Lando's fault?
Have you seen how he's operated post-race?
Oh, yeah. Get into it. I'm looking for the quote now.
He's on the microphone and he goes, do I think our best chances are gone? I would say yes. I would say our best chances were at Qatar winning a race. And then Max had to come in and gentle parent him on the microphone and say, oh, you're an Abu Dhabi specialist. And then Lando goes, oh, no comment. And then Max kept propping him up. Like, why do you have such a loser mentality right now? You're leading the championship. And sure, all these other factors have come in where your team has screwed you again and again and again. Step up to that moment, Lando. Why do you have such a loser mentality with this? It is so frustrating. In all of his interviews, he's moping, he's whining, and I get that. But this is all of your own team's doing. Like, you guys threw this away. And Lando, there were a lot of times where you individually threw this away, where you were not good enough, even though you did have a rocket ship.
I would say the last 2 weeks, Lando has not thrown it away. The team has thrown it away for him.
Absolutely. But that's the last 2 weeks at the end of the season.
Yeah.
If we look at Lando, how many times did we have the conversation last year into this, giving it up, lap one, turn one, or whatever? And I think Max articulated it the best, that he said, we're still in this fight because of other people's mistakes. And he said, if we had the car, we would have blown this out of the water ages ago. Like, this to me is a sports moment where I will never forget where I was when I was watching this. Not just like if that happens in a race, it's a talking point on the podcast for a week. And then maybe later in the season with how it affected the season. With where we are in this moment, especially in the grand scheme of things of the last 5 years, where we're finally moving on from Red Bull dominance, for McLaren to do this, and after a double disqualification, the timing of all of this, and for them to make these mistakes and rob Oscar, too, of his best career win. Like, through all of this, as much as I love McLaren falling apart and losing to themselves, I feel awful for Oscar. All they had to do was pit him on lap 7. He would have had his second Grand Slam and 10th win. Now he's dropped P3 in the championship on what was arguably his most dominant weekend of his entire career. And you could see it. He goes speechless. I don't have any words. Like, that man was emotionally destroyed. And then you have Sean's sworn, so I'm allowed to. And then you have Zach come into the media pen, give him this fuck-ass hug. I am tired of your performative PR hugs. Do that behind the scenes. And you say, I'm so sorry. This is on me. This is Andrea Stella. This is on the pit crew. Don't go up and give him a hug. Did you see Oscar's face when he was being hugged by Zach Brown? And then his IG post, there's no caption,
Zach Brown hug.
no music, no smile. He's just looking down sad at the trophy. Like, All of this is so frustrating. And Zach was asked, when you saw Max coming in, this is why I told you I need to go last. When you saw Max coming in, did it cross your mind to call Lando and split the cars? And he said, no, we didn't want to change what we decided to do coming into the race. I think it's always dangerous to second guess yourself of what you thought coming in. As the team, your job is to be adaptable to what happens on the track. Your job is to react to what is happening.
But you didn't.
But you didn't. And communicate that to others. Like, you've seen Zach... Sorry, I need to lower my voice. You've seen Zach Brown how many times...
Katie, calm down. Calm down, Katie. Calm down.
That he's willing to lose a championship in the name of fairness, which has always infuriated me when he says that. And it's happening in front of our eyes for no reason other than, oh, papaya rules. And awful strategy. Awful strategy. Like in a race, like you said, with 2 mandatory pit stops, 25 lap tire limit with a safety car on lap 7, how on earth do you possibly not get that strategy right? How on earth do you blow that? I was the same as Oscar, speechless. I was standing in my living room going, what is happening? And then they said, well, we didn't know everyone else was going to pit behind us. I did, and I've been watching F1 for 12 minutes. How did I know in my living room that everyone else was going to pit? And then you didn't know? This has been the funniest disaster class I've ever seen. I have so much empathy for Oscar, and I hate this for Nicole Piastri because of Oscar, and she's losing Yuki Tsunoda.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second, too.
But
Yuki.
The way that Oscar dealt with it, like, McLaren is so lucky that he is a PR master. Like, the moments where we've talked about how he has no emotion and he doesn't really react and he stays this way, McLaren is really, really, really lucky that that's the case. Because a lot of other drivers are going to be going mental to the media. I would. I am right now.
Fernando Alonso would have been ripping them a new one. Yuki Tsunoda, Max would have been ripping it. Lewis would have been passive-aggressively ripping them a new one.
Yes.
And
Carlos is just off to the sides. You know the meme with the frog and the tea? You know the meme? You know that meme, right? With the frog and the tea? You know that meme, yeah?
I reflect on all the conversations we had throughout the season where I don't remember which... We've had it after a few races of what happens if the championship comes down to 6 points. What if it comes down to 5 points? Then you look back at this situation, how could you live with yourself? We're here. We're in that moment right now where you go back and you go, oh, what if you didn't swap the cars because, oh, you had a bad pit stop that was your own team fault? Oh, what if we let the drivers race the whole time? Or what if we pick a number 1 driver and we don't just have Lando be the number 1 boy behind the scenes? What if we actually pick one and stand by it and then plan your races accordingly? Nope. This, like I said, this was a disaster class. It's almost incredible to watch because of all the stakes of it. And it's one of the biggest, most expensive sports in the world. Like, all of it is truly blowing my mind in the best possible way as someone that just loves chaos.
I think first off, good job, Katie. That was fantastic.
Katie,
there was a lot of thoughts this week for me.
As you're going off, I'm like, God, I'd love to reorganize the whole show. No offense, Sean. No, and obviously, I'd take no offense to my own critiques, but God, I would love to lead with that.
No, I have been sitting and reveling in this Sean crash out because Sean never crashes out. I'm crashing out all the time, and
Look at his face is great.
I'm living for the intro of just pure dejection, and then just like I feel like we just watched Sean go through like all the stages of grieving. So I'm happy that we started the show.
No, he hasn't reached acceptance yet.
I have not. I have not reached the finality of it. We still have Abu Dhabi to go. I would say that. God, I do not want to sound like I am defending McLaren at all here, but the season has just played out so weird too. Like, who could have thought that after the summer break, Oscar would turn into a pumpkin for like a month and a half, and Lando would turn into like prime Lando Norris again, or that Red Bull would finally figure out their car because that car sucked at the beginning of the year. Like, so many different things have happened along the way to get us to this point. I don't think we can just say, yes, it's because papaya rules. That's a big part of it. I absolutely think that's a big part of it. But had Oscar maintained his 50-some point lead on Lando, we're not talking about this him being in third place right now. We're not talking about Lando with the best chance to win the Drivers' Championship. I don't think we can say it's just because they swapped cars in Monza. It's just because of papaya rules. It's just because of fairness. It's a huge part of it, but so many other things have happened along the way that led us to this. I will say, though, by the way, that in the doc, Nick, or was it Katie, you pointed out that all 3 drivers have exactly 7 wins.
Mm-hmm.
My preseason prediction was 5 wins get you the title, and I wasn't far off.
Oh, wow.
I was not far off, I will
That
say.
is a good
like that.
preseason prediction.
I think that Go ahead, Katie.
I was just going to say, I do hear you, Sean, but because it is a culmination of many things, that almost makes it more wild and frustrating to me. That you can't just point to, well, they could have just, next year they can look at this and they can point at that and fix that. It was a culmination of screwing up on so many levels. And a lot of things were other factors, but they screwed up as a team in multiple ways within that building and along that pit wall. And as a fan, I would almost be more frustrated about that.
Nick?
I mean, I was going to say, you're right, Katie. I think that's very valid, and Sean could justify that, but I don't think he wants to yet because he's still holding out hope. I think that the comparison to the 2016 Atlanta Falcons is actually pretty accurate, and that's Super Bowl 51 in particular, because if you look at it, like you said, prime Lando Norris, and I'm like, who is prime? Like, what is prime Lando Norris? Like, is he prime Phillip Rivers? Is he
that version that we saw?
Prime Matt Ryan? And then I'm like, oh my God, he might be prime Matt Ryan. NFL MVP in 2016 Matt Ryan, who never came close to that again, had one moment in the sun and was nearly there to win a Super Bowl, and then had the old T-Rex stomping in the background of the Jurassic Park scene, Tom Brady come through and snatch victory from his grasp, and that's Max Verstappen. And
I would say
Kyle Shanahan, his refusal to run the ball in the second half of that game is Zach Brown. And somewhere along the way, Oscar Piastri is Julio Jones, I guess.
I was about to say
maybe.
Oscar's Julio in this situation. 100% Julio Jones in this situation. I would say
great comp.
if McLaren
for this
actually do
podcast.
fumble this,
Yeah.
it's worse than 28-3. It's worse than the Yankees giving up the first ever 3-0 series lead in postseason history.
It's worse than the Warriors blowing the first 3-1
This would
lead.
be like you have a 5-0 series
comp too,
lead
actually.
in a best-of-7 series, and somehow you still lose. You've already secured the series, and yet somehow you still lose. But that's where we are as we head to Abu Dhabi. May we please
Can we
now
talk
do
about
our race
Carlos
predictions?
first? I think it's good to talk about the positives
Talk about
from this.
Carlos. Okay.
Katie,
Someone
go
else
ahead.
could go. I just think it's important to talk about.
No. You initiated it. Talk about Carlos.
Did you guys see the transcript of his, or hear his radio after he won?
Oh, it was very long.
Do you want me to read it to you? I wrote
Yes,
it down.
please do.
It says, ha, ha, vamos, James, vamos, Gaten. Great job, everyone. Strategy, mechanics, engineers, drivers, incredible, smooth
Everyone, shout 'em all out.
operator. And then he sings smooth operator a couple times. And then they have a discourse with his race engineer about if his next career is going to be in music and then if he needs a guitarist. It was so cute. It was so interesting seeing the difference in energy with Oscar and McLaren up against Carlos, because Williams, they were just like losing their minds, and it was so fun. And in a different world, like, that should have been the biggest story from this race, because is the second podium with Williams?
Yeah, this
Which
is
because
in
he
his
has
first
more
season.
than Lewis.
In a season in which he said, which that's hilarious, by the way. And you're right, Katie. The guy that they fired to give Lewis Hamilton the seat ends up with 2 more podiums than Lewis does. Also, just indicative of Ferrari's incompetence. But this is a season in which Carlos came in and he basically said, "We're not going to get on the podium." Like, he lowered expectations realistically, because knew he was going to drive for Williams, and he's gotten 2 podiums out of it. They just secured 5th place in constructors for a team that was so bad.
Yeah.
They never even had a shot to get out of last place a few years ago, and then they sell the team to Drilliton Capital, and now they're in the midfield. They are firmly in the midfield with a driver who I think suits them perfectly at this stage in his career, where he gets kicked out for the better, the well-respected, venerated 7-time world champion, all that good stuff, right?
Yeah. And did you see Alex Albon literally tackle James Vowles to the
Yes.
pavement? I love Williams. Maybe I'll be a Williams fan after all this is over. Maybe
I might be too, Sean.
maybe
I've
I
been
just might
loving him for a
retire.
while.
Like, you know what? Even if Lando does win the championship or Oscar wins it, you guys, you're good. I'm gonna I'm gonna hang out with Williams. They're the cool bunch. You guys
They've
are a
got
little
such
too
cool-
toxic for me.
Yeah, they've got cool vibes and they've got a lot of aura. And you're right about Albon. I'm like, man, that is a company man right there, where he's like running and taking part of all the celebrations. And like, Alex wasn't on the podium, and he's just a driver that I have so much respect for. But James too, I love that for him. Like, there was so much joy around that entire team this weekend, and that was really, really fun. And yeah, Alex and Carlos together are just so cool. Like, I'm officially like pulling for Williams. I've been honking about them being good for... I think that was my preseason prediction, that Williams would be getting better, which I guess P5 isn't bad.
No, P5 is great. No, it's great.
They're a sympathetic team. All right, Sean, I know you've been itching to get here, so let's get
Let's do our Abu Dhabi race predictions. We still have more F1 stuff to talk about. This is going to be an F1 heavy episode. We will get to the NFL, but let's do race predictions, and then we'll talk about the other news that broke in the F1 over the last 6 or 7 days. Katie?
Or today.
Please.
Okay, we'll make this quick and non-dramatic. P1, Max Verstappen.
Yeah!
P2, Oscar Piastri.
Yeah!
P3, George Russell.
Yeah!
I think Lando crashes out both mentally and physically in the car.
Interesting. All right, Nick, go for it.
Same exact podium. That's exactly what I had in my
No
mind.
way!
Yes. Yeah, I thought about Kimmy, and then I saw Kimmy going off the track and then put ultimate lap, and I was like, no, that's George Russell's job. Get it done, guys. Get it done.
George is having a good season.
He is. He is.
P1, Max Verstappen.
Oh. No, he's going to... No, Katie, don't get your hopes up. Here's
Don't
P2.
baby like this, Sean. I don't know.
Oscar Piastri.
There it is.
P3, Lando Norris. He brings it home.
There it is.
Fool me once. Shame on you.
Fool me twice. Can't fool me again. Can't fool me again.
Can't
Fool me
fool
three
me.
times.
McLaren can continue to fool me. All right,
Now watch
there's our
this
race
drive.
predictions. There's our official race predictions. 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Ugh, it's so early
Abu
for me.
Dhabi. Yeah, Katie's going to have to be up real early for this
And
one.
I always watch the pre-race show, so, boys, I'm up at 5 a.m. on God's
for you.
day.
I feel for you. All right, more F1 breaking news today as we record this. Red Bull have their driver lineup for next season. Unfortunately, Isaac Hadjar is getting demoted from V-Carb to Red Bull. More specific
Nick
to that
laughs when
second
Sean
Red Bull
says
seat.
it, but I put it in the doc.
I didn't even look at the doc.
Katie did put it in the doc. I want to give her credit on that. Yes, Red Bull officially
You're
naming
the
Isaac
joke writer. He's the
Hadjar
guy delivering it. It's not your fault.
as their second driver alongside Max Verstappen next year. Yuki Tsunoda officially entering, crossing the Rainbow Bridge to join drivers like Danny Ricciardo, Daniel Kvyat.
Not the Rainbow
list goes-
Bridge.
The list goes on and on.
Sergio
Liam
Perez,
Lawson,
That's
Liam
what
Lawson,
Carlos-
Yuki Tsunoda.
Checo Perez. The bargain bin of Red Bull drivers.
The bargain bin.
The only
Yuki
instance
Tsunoda
in
officially-
sports in which a promotion is a demotion.
Yes. I feel so bad for Isaac Hadjar. You know what? Maybe he could be the driver to do it. He's shown me a lot this year. Maybe he could be the driver to do it. Although, to be fair, Liam Lawson has also looked good in that V-Carb. Because driving for that team and driving for that car is so much easier than driving alongside Max Verstappen and Red Bull. Although maybe now that Christian Horner is gone and Laurent Mekies is in there, it's more...
And new regs.
Yeah, it's easier to drive with Red Bull, although Darth Vader is still, in that team. So, I don't know. Or Emperor Palpatine, more or less. And Helmut Marko. Maybe not Darth Vader, yeah. Christian Horner was more Darth Vader. Helmut Marko was definitely more
Palpatine
Emperor
trending
Palpatine.
toward...
Yeah.
100%. So, we'll see what happens. V-Carb also, who was it that they promoted?
I had said on the pod. I said on the pod before, Isaac, if you get a call from Helmut Marko, do not pick up that phone.
Arvid Lindblad to race alongside Liam Lawson.
I'm sorry, this is going to make me sound like an idiot, but that sounds like a fake name.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It is
Good
Nick.
dice.
I totally made that up. Or did I?
No, you didn't.
Yes. Arvin Lindblad, that guy, is going to race in V-Carb next year, be a rookie in F1. They had success with Isaac Hadjar this year. We'll see what he does stepping up to Red Bull. Does he break the trend? Does he actually perform alongside Max Verstappen? He's going to be a number 2 driver. Obviously, Max Verstappen, the car and the team is still going to be centered around him. But can Isaac Hadjar at least give us more than what Yuki, what Liam, what Checo did later on at his stint in Red Bull?
Probably not.
No.
Damn.
I mean, and look, I was watching the race this morning, and I was like, oh, the timing kind of makes sense. Look at Hadjar way up there near the front. And then I thought, it's probably the last time he's going to be up there for a while. Because he's going to be in a Red Bull that's not tailored toward him at all.
Who knows with all the regulation changes, though? Maybe this is the time that second seat finally isn't cursed.
Then again, fool me once. You know.
And maybe Red Bull have finally been like, hey guys, we can't uber make this car around Max's preferences if we even want our second driver to be up there. Like, we do need him to be up there. So Max has shown that he can race any car. We don't need to make it so sensitive to what he likes that the other guy can't even perform in this car. Fool me once.
Yeah, exactly.
The other news.
I also kind of think about, like, Max, his quote before the most recent Grand Prix was essentially like, I have nothing to lose. Like, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Like, we've documented his seeming lack of interest in a long F1 career. Like, he's already eyeing the door, has been for a while. Races in other specs, like, just for fun, under fake names sometimes. Has a child now. There's other things that interest him, so maybe there's something to it. Maybe they won't necessarily tailor the car specifically to him, especially if he does win this championship.
Oscar Piastri, you are Max Verstappen's heir apparent.
I would love
it's
that.
100% going to happen. Oscar's going to bolt for Red Bull. 100%.
Why? What happened?
100%.
Why, Sean?
Why? What happened?
Why, McLaren? What happened? Other news coming out of F1. By the way, this means that Yuki Tsunoda will not be racing in Formula One next year, as he's been in talks with some IndyCar teams coming over to North America. That would
Do we
be
think
pretty
that's
cool.
deserved for him to be out of F1 entirely?
No.
I push back
No.
against that.
No,
Not at all.
because I will never say that it's deserved for someone to be out of F1 while Lance Stroll still occupies a race seat.
Fair.
Agreement
Has he
across the
performed
board.
Oh my God.
up to the level of what Red Bull would have hoped? No, but can he competently race in Formula One? Yes, but so can other people that are coming up through the system, and there's only now 22 seats with Cadillac joining the grid next year, so, I mean, you got to make room for somebody. So, no, it's not fair that he's getting kicked out, but he also, I don't think, deserves to stay that much. I mean,
I
let's see.
saw a video. You're right, but we have politically motivated changes all the time.
Yeah,
And I saw a video. So like in the gaming space, in the sim racing space, there were people that will make these shorts, or these TikToks, whatever, where they demonstrate different driving styles. So there's one of, like, in rally car, like taking a hairpin turn, right? And they show all these different styles, and here's like the Ken Block method, and here's like an inverted method, and blah blah blah. And then like the 9th style is just pops up, says Lance Stroll, and I'm like, what? And then I'm like, wait, it's gonna be terrible. And he just flies right through the turn into the barrier, and I'm just like, that's good. That's good.
He reverses into the gravel trap. You know, anytime I need a laugh, there's a video on YouTube, and it's 13 straight minutes of Lance Stroll messing up. And it's a great.
13?
It's
That's
13 straight minutes. It's a great watch.
I
Anytime
love
you
a
need
good
a good laugh.
compilation.
Yeah, F1
Speaking
has
of Aston Martin.
14 of the best drivers and then 6 of the best billionaires' sons.
Yes. Speaking of Aston Martin, of course, Lance Stroll's team, or his daddy's team, they have a new team principal going into this year or going into next year, and I really don't think anyone saw this coming because it's Adrian Newey. It is former Red Bull chief engineer Adrian Newey, who left Red Bull because of that whole toxic mess, joined Aston Martin for a crap ton of money, and here we think our Aston Martin's going to have a supercar designed by one of the best designers the sport has ever seen. It doesn't look like that's the case because now he's going to be running the team. Do we think that this was part of the deal that got him to Aston Martin in the first place?
I think so. I think that he doesn't make that jump unless there's some sort of thing baked in, or at least the option to take control if he wants it. And it seems like he wants it. Yeah, simple as
Do
that.
we think this is the best move, though, for Aston Martin, considering this is the guy that has made championship after championship after championship car?
When has Aston Martin or Racing Point ever made the best move?
Fool me once.
Doesn't it feel like a weird fever dream when they were really good for like 3 races and then we were like, they're totally in the championship because it was the very beginning of the year.
And then they weren't.
And then they were just not even if they were a total non-factor. This one I just don't have a read on because I don't understand enough of what happens behind the scenes. Like, as a team principal, you're managing so many different things, and with the way that his brain operates and how much experience he has, I feel like I'd rather have him just be designing the car.
Right.
Right.
And that's why I was a bit shocked. But then as I've never been behind the scenes in these situations, so this is chalk it up to just I don't know. Maybe it is in their best position. I was definitely surprised though.
If you're Lawrence Stroll and you're at the offices of Aston Martin in Silverstone, England, I just want you to go into that office and be like, Adrian, get into that door and do not come out until you have a supercar. Money is not an option.
I mean, he already did that when he sent the photographer to painstakingly photograph the Mercedes that one year.
That was such a good Lawrence Stroll, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
And
you.
then Sean walks back onto his helicopter and flies away toward his lair.
It's giving Bond villain because he basically is. He is a Bond villain.
Can we stay in Aston Martin for 2 seconds with 2 pieces
Please.
of Fernando Alonso news?
Yes. What
One.
is that news, Katie?
One, remember when
He's
I weirdly...
dating Taylor Swift. No, I'm just kidding.
Also a weird
What
fever
could
dream.
have been?
One, remember on the podcast where I wrote in my notes, in the vibes notes one day, Fernando has daddy energy, and I'm like, is Fernando a daddy? And then I googled it. No, he doesn't have kids. Fernando has a kid on the way, about to be a dad.
Hey.
Congratulations, Daddy Fernando, who already had undeniable daddy energy.
Right. He's officially
did you-
daddy now.
Did you guys hear his quote about the spirit in the car?
No.
I wrote it down. So he said, the truth is, I wasn't pushing at 100%, but this car has disconnections. I don't know how to call them. A bit paranormal. There is a spirit in the car. So he thinks his car is haunted. And
You're-
said that to the media.
That second Aston Martin car is haunted by Lance Stroll's suckiness.
Yeah, Lance Stroll's car is notably fine, and he's been doing just great. But yeah,
An
Fernando.
interesting development here at Yas Marina. It appears Fernando
Where?
Alonso has gotten into Yas Marina. It appears Fernando Alonso has gotten into his car today with what it seems to be a necklace of garlic and some sort of salt lamp. This
I
is
was gonna
strange.
say, Checo Perez, he always had the Virgin Mary in his cockpit. Maybe Fernando needs to try that a little bit.
Just don't
Maybe
turn that
just-
lamp on because those things
Yeah.
heat up and then they melt over time and they damage the surface they're sitting on. Fun fact. There you go.
Get a Padre in there to bless Fernando's car, exorcise the demons of that second.
Padre.
There's
Aston
paranormal
Martin.
activity in that car.
There is some paranormal activity going on. I think that does it for F1. 51 minutes into this podcast. Let's shift gears
51
to the
minutes of pure
NFL,
great.
guys. Time
Sean, we're
to
gonna-
talk.
We're going to handle this quickly, and let's just deliver some apologies to those who ended up on Fraud Watch. Because I think while we had some great Thanksgiving games, it is now Tuesday. And as much as I would like to talk about Joe Burrow coming back and beating the Ravens, I think it's old news, right? So
Yeah.
Ravens are
our
kind of
league-
ass, and Lamar does
They
not look
are-
like
The
himself.
entire
Correct.
AFC North is kind of ass.
Correct.
Yeah.
In fact, guys, if I may, I have a friend who came over today. He's kind of just waiting downstairs, and I'm worried he's going to go through all my icy light. So can I bring him up here and just talk to him for a little bit?
I feel like we
Please.
could console him today if it's who I think
Okay.
it is.
All right. Well, you guys hang tight. Let me go downstairs and grab him. Okay, I'll be right back.
Can't believe he's
Okay,
just
so-
sitting there by himself.
Yeah, I mean, how has he
Super
been
rude.
preoccupying himself? I mean, what is he playing, like solitaire? Staring at the wall?
While Sean's
questioning his
gone,
life?
how good is the Sean Crash Out episode?
Oh, it's fantastic.
The
I mean,
intro is killing me.
I was hoping for it, and I think that it ended up exceeding all expectations. I didn't know he had this in him because I've never seen him deal with this level of pain outside of Pirates baseball, which just comes with a low level of expectation. And frankly, Katie, I know we've been riding together on this, and I'll ride with you to the end on this, but I'm hoping for Red Bull to win just to watch another crash out.
What
I don't know if it'll be as severe.
About, eh? What am I supposed to talk about these guys?
Here he is.
Oh, would you look
Freaking nicking.
who
hi,
it
guys.
is?
What's that?
Yinzer Bob, what an absolute pleasure. And unexpected, I did not expect to be
at that
seeing
hat.
you here today. You look great, as always.
Oh, there's so many references here.
Nick, why don't you take this one?
Oh, Yinzer Bob, tell me about the shirt. It says play Renegade with an X through it. I know what that's about. Talk to it.
Well, you guys know Renegade is dead, all right? Renegade's officially dead. No more, oh, mama, I'm in free. None of that, all right? This defense is not fit to play. It's not fit to hear the lyrics of Styx right now, all right?
Yinzer Bob, were you in attendance for the Steelers' lopsided loss to the Buffalo Bills on Sunday?
I was, but I had too many, or I was supposed to be, but I had too many icy lights out there in the parking lot, so I didn't make it in that day. Thank God.
So you ended up under one of those bridges that you guys tailgate under. Okay, so you weren't around then to experience what I hear was a loud response of boos to Renegade.
Oh, I saw the videos, man. They played Renegade there in the second half, and everyone booed it. And they should be booing it, all right? Because for the longest time, Renegade has been our anthem, right? It's been the defense's calling card to go get that pick, go get a fumble recovery, go get TJ Watt his umpteenth sack of the year. There's no fighting this defense no more. They're on track, I read from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, because I still get my papers in the mail, to have the worst defense in 37 years. Okay? This defense has taken more snaps than any other defense in the league. And the offense has taken the least amount of snaps. Now, you tell me how a Renegade's going to fix that. It's not. So we don't need to patronize Renegade anymore. Just stop playing it, because we don't want to hear it.
Yinzer Bob, one of the notable things for this last Steelers game was the chants ringing through the stadium of "Fire Mike Tomlin." I just want to know, has your voice been added loudly to that chant?
You know, Mike Tomlin, he's done a lot for the city of Pittsburgh, all right? But at some point, there's a disconnect in that message now in that locker room, and I don't know, it might be time for Mike T to go. It might be time for Coach Tomlin to get on out of here. And by the way, I'm sick and tired of everyone saying, oh, you guys fire Mike Tomlin, he'll have another job in 2 seconds. Okay. That's all right, though. So did Andy Reid. Was Andy Reid ever going to win a Super Bowl in Philadelphia? Probably not. He had to go to Kansas City to become the best version of himself.
So the Steelers are the problem and not Mike Tomlin.
I don't know. What's that?
Say it again, Katie.
So the Steelers are the problem and not Mike Tomlin is what my takeaway is from this.
It could be. It could be a mix of both. Because at the same time, how could Mike Tomlin think, going into a season, that the solution was kicking the tires on a 41-year-old quarterback with injury history?
I don't know. You enjoyed that quarterback early in the season, Yinzer
Yeah,
Bob.
I seem to remember you talking about how pleasantly surprised you were by the play of 100-year-old Aaron Rodgers, who now appears to be back on his old shtick of throwing guys directly under the bus in his press game conferences. How did that make you feel, Yinzer Bob?
This time with a new and improved version of himself that includes a bloody nose.
Which
Ian's guys, what?
the memes
you know
were
what?
great.
Ian's guys know what? I've never been a big fan of Aaron Rodgers.
That is not
Pro
true.
Rogan, as some like to call him.
Pass rush
Watching
Limbaugh.
him with some
Chucker
tears in his
Carlson.
eyes, with some tears in his eyes, and his nose all bloody. I mean, I kind of laughed a little bit. I did. I kind of laughed a little
How
bit.
quickly you turn on those wearing the black and gold when they
You've
don't
changed, Yinzer Bob. You've
succeed
changed.
for you. Wow. Yinzer Bob, how'd you feel about stalwart Steelers defensive lineman Cam Hayward getting a taunting penalty after giving up a touchdown?
No fight in this defense right now. At some point, if you're the guy that was holding out in training camp saying, I'm not going to play this season, and he ended up playing anyway, for more money, especially at Cam Hayward's age, not that I'm saying he doesn't deserve it, but if you're the guy that's holding out for more money, making a fuss about it, then wind up playing anyway, and then go into the locker room and complain to the press, what are we doing here, guys? What are we doing here?
Yeah, okay.
There's
All right,
no
so-
accountability on this team, and there's no leadership. My Pap Kane, God rest his soul, is up there, and I'm glad he doesn't have to see this stuff, okay?
Oh, no. You have to see your team struggle. Oh, woe is me. How about this?
Ian's a real jag for that.
While we have you, I just wonder. You're 6-6. You could very much still win the division. I know things don't look good. You haven't won more than one game in a while now. But have you grasped the concept? And I think this team has been headed in this direction for a while now, given that they can't find a long-term quarterback. But have you grasped the concept, the potential of a bit of a reset, rebuild with the same general manager who's had some good drafts? Have you even thought about having to stomach a losing season with a new coach, a step back in order to take steps forward? Is that even on the list of possibilities that you'll tolerate in Pittsburgh, the city of champions?
More champions than Cleveland, tell you that much.
I wasn't talking about Cleveland.
Nick,
we know Cleveland has one.
Nick, I gotta say, I feel something towards the Steelers that I thought I'd never feel. You know what that is? You guys know what thank you. Great word for it. Apathy. I had to look it up. I had to look it up in my Webster's dictionary the other day, okay? Apathy. It means I don't give a crap anymore. If I had to stomach a losing season and let Omar Khan fix this team and get it right, I'm okay with that. And if it's under my teeth, that's great. We love our coaches here in Pittsburgh. But at the end of the day, I just want to have some pride in my football team again. I just genuinely don't give a crap no more.
Yinzer Bob, what a pleasure it is having you here. We just do have one request as you do exit. Do you mind giving Sean a hug for us? He's kind of having a rough week. When you go back and listen to the beginning of the episode, you will hear it in his voice. So because you were just weirdly hanging out by his entryway, as you guys switch off, would you just mind giving him a hug from the squad?
He was telling me about this papaya team or something like that. I mean, as rough as we got it in downtown Pittsburgh,
Could be
that
worse.
guy's got it. Hey, you know what? That's right, Kate. Thank you. Grass is always greener on the other side. That's why you're my favorite podcast host here.
Oh, look at that, Nick. And Sean somewhere.
No, I mean, Katie's my favorite too.
You guys are all a bunch
My
of
least
jags,
favorite.
but all right, I gotta go.
Okay, goodbye, Yinzer Bob. That was great. Thanks again for weirdly hanging out and being ready on standby. Nick, my favorite part of the weekend was when Shelby Harris called John Jennings a hoe.
I wish we could play the sound.
Me too.
He's a hoe.
And I want that known.
And I want that known.
And I want that known.
Some of the best sound we got all year.
I know. This was a really good just soundbite weekend.
I'm not surprised people will punch him in the nuts. I'm surprised that nobody's punched him in the jaw.
Good soundbite weekend. There was that, and then Cam Hayward being like, "Yeah, when he need me in the stomach."
Dude, the Yinzer Bob just gave me like the most like awkward hug ever.
Aw, good. I'm really glad to hear that.
Well, I mean, he probably doesn't even know how to hug. I can't imagine that a Yinzer.
It kind of like went in for like a firm handshake, but like as we shook hands, he kind of like begrudgingly like brought me in and gave me like this weird like kind of like side hug. I don't know if he knows how to emote in a normal way.
That's exactly what I did ask him to do, so this is great. Sean, while you were embracing Yinzer Bob physically, Nick and I were speaking about some of our favorite sound bites from the weekend. Cam Hayward kneeing me in the stomach was very funny. I also brought up that Shelby Harris calling Juwan Jennings a hoe was really, really great.
Is this what we're going to do now, by the way? Like, is this going to be the new trend where, like, grown men are just calling each other hoes now?
Yeah, big week for calling guys hoes.
I think that's what's going to happen. And honestly, it's kind of funny. Like, and I don't think, I know we're an NFL podcast, but I don't think it would be blowing up as big as it would be if Lane Kiffin didn't take such exception to being called a hoe, which... If the shoe fits, Lane, I'm just saying. Like, I'm not even an Ole Miss fan. Like, I don't even care. But objectively, from the outside, if you leave team after team after team, use a hoe.
Like he said, I like that. And I don't support that podcaster like totally seeking engagement by getting confronted by Lane and then immediately tweeting about it, because that's also hoe behavior.
Yeah,
that is hoe behavior.
But he was not wrong when you look back at Lane Kiffin's coaching career and his decisions to go from one program to the next, when he said, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Hoes don't act right. That is true.
Multiple
very
things can be
accurate.
true in this situation.
Yes, all things are true here, for sure. You know who isn't a bunch of hoes? This three.
He almost had it.
Were you trying to
trio.
say this trio?
Yeah.
Some of us are non-practicing hoes.
Interesting. Former hoes.
Reformed hose, if you will.
We should start a hoe counter with a ding sound at this point. I mean, my God. And we admit our faults. So without further ado, Sean, let's apologize. Katie, let's apologize, even though you weren't part of this last week when you were gone. We put some teams on Fraud Watch. Some of them dunked on us this week.
Some of them absolutely dunked on us.
Were the Bills one of them?
Yes. So were the
They dunked on
Cowboys.
ya.
And so are the Chicago Bears.
Yup. Oh, yeah.
Nick, I
Aren't
was
they the
thinking,
top seed
dude,
in the NFC right now?
Yes.
Yep.
What universe are we in?
Nick, as I was watching Thanksgiving, I'm like, oh crap, we like swung and missed on all of these. Now the Bills played the Steelers, okay? Fraud Watch is still out on the Bills, but the Cowboys beating the Chiefs and then the Bears beating the Lions. Yeah, I'm gonna whoops-a-daisies. Or sorry, not the Lions. Who'd the Bears beat?
The Eagles.
The Eagles, thank you.
A broken Eagles team. I think the most impressive win was probably the Cowboys over the Chiefs.
We also said that the Lions were not frauds.
Yeah, we lost the Packers. We didn't put the Packers on that Fraud Watch list, but I
No,
felt
we did not. No, we did not. So
Well, ultimately, not to defend ourselves, but ultimately, we don't know what the hell. I've said this for months.
Nobody
not weeks, but
knows.
months. Nobody knows what the hell's going on here.
Nobody knows who's good.
Nick is literally
We know who's
paid by
bad.
the NFL to not know anything about the NFL. So we're going to apologize on 3. Ready, guys? 3, 2, 1.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ooh, ooh,
Ooh, I'm sorry.
ooh, flag. The Jags
Flag.
beat the Titans. That doesn't count because it's the Titans, so
It's the
you're still
Titans.
on Fraud Watch.
I
say that.
kept saying, like, the Jags are going to... They are frauds, but they're going to win enough games fraudulently that they're going to be in the playoffs, and that's
They're
going to be
so
a
annoying.
weird watch. Do we want to... Look, the Patriots are playing great. They've won 10 in a row. Insane. Drake May is a potential MVP candidate, but they've also played the easiest schedule in the NFL. Now, look, you can only beat who's on your schedule, but they have also played the easiest schedule in the NFL.
Are you trying to put them on Fraud Watch? What's the outcome here?
I'm just no. I mean, hey, you said it, Katie, not me.
No, because I wouldn't put them there.
Well, it
I'm a
sounds
Drake
like
May
we're thinking
fan.
about it.
John, I feel like you're requesting permission to put them on Fraud Watch, and
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that is a poor demonstration of you learning a lesson.
Nick, we've said it so many times in this podcast. Fool me once.
That's the name of this podcast.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
actually
One less
great.
thing I have to figure out.
Gridiron Podcast officially rebranding after 89 episodes to Fool Me Once. No, I don't think the Patriots are frauds. I would put the Broncos in Fraud Watch, though, because, again, they already have 10 wins as well, and they don't look like a good 10-win team. I would put them on Fraud Watch over
Their
the Patriots.
offense is just inconsistent. Like, when they're
Yes.
good, they're good. And if they could play like they play in the fourth quarter all the time, they'd be great. But
Logan's in the chat.
their defense will keep them in any game, though. Just
Yeah,
because
he's
we
fair.
don't know who's good on offense on the other, who they'll be playing. Nobody's good.
It's true. He said, "Sean, please," regarding the Patriots and potential placement on the Fraud Watch. Thank you, Logan, for joining
I'm
me.
not putting the Patriots on Fraud Watch. Relax.
Are you sure? As we wrap up here, are you sure?
I am sure.
And as
Are
I
we good
check
for
our
NFL talk, guys?
chat going forward, yeah. See, this is. We missed a lot of chat messages again. That's my fault. Only some
Put
of
them up there.
show
No,
here.
put them up there. Let's end with the
I
chat
can't. They're
messages.
not here to select. But if you go over to Twitch, I can see them there. Godsend was in here. Thanks for coming through. Logan's had a bunch of them, and
Oh, hi, friend
I've
of the
only
show,
seen
Logan.
2 of them.
Nick, you have one job. That is to monitor the chat.
It's not possible to surface them on the client that we use because they're not populating.
I love this.
Just
type
like
them out.
McLaren's not doing the job.
You could type them out, Nick.
My zingers are really off today. Like it's not a lack of sleep. I
That's
watched
okay.
10 NFL games yesterday.
And here's hoping that Max Verstappen zingers are off on Sunday. Thanks for watching and listening to episode 89 of the Gridiron Podcast, everyone. I'm Sean Barie for Nick Shook and Katie Caldwell. Let's go, Lando. Bring it home.
Make sure you follow us on Instagram at gridironpod, TikTok at the.gridiron.podcast, youtube.com/@gridironpod. And where can they email us, Katie? Pulled a fast one on you there. Pregnant pause. Let's go.
It is the Gridiron Podcast 3. That's the Gridiron Podcast 3.
Damn those
other two.
At
And
gmail.com.
Max Verstappen. Until next time, everyone. My mental health is riding on a 24-year-old little British man in Abu Dhabi driving a supercar. That's all. Live life in the fast lane.
Good night, McLaren.
Oh, dun 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 dun. Max Verstappen, dun 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 dun. Max Verstappen, good night, Canada. Max Verstappen, gonna break Sean's heart. Max Verstappen, do 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 do.